All right, guys, how's everyone doing? This is Hala Pablo. Thank you for tuning in. Just make sure my mic is working. All right, it is. It seems to be. So let's do a quick Bitcoin update now. We'll pick up where we left off yesterday. Basically the same charts. The macro over here on the left, the daily, with the three areas in the pocket. These two historic areas, and then this one where it is, if we continue on the present price path, then it's very well possible that we could revisit this pocket area here with these two liquidity void mitigation points. This one being around under 100, 98, 98.5, and then if we go down to wicking down to the 400 SMA like we had here and here, and that is currently the 400's at 97.6, but of course we could wick lower than that, and that would mitigate this liquidity void here, this reaccumulation range in this area, and so that would touch the 400, and then we could see at that point demand coming in, buyers stepping up to keep the price in that area. Anything lower than that, like a daily close beneath the 400, would not be good. But I don't see us going there just yet. Looking at the news here, Bitcoin liquidity falls to lowest level since 2018 as whales enter accumulation mode. Now, this is on the long-term accumulation. So just because you see an article like this where it says whales are accumulating, and then here's another one, Bitcoin whales and dolphins stacking tokens amid deleveraging phase. This means that, long term, the projection is accumulation. Remember, we talked about this. I don't think this bull run has come to an end. If we go off this cumulative days destroyed chart here, we see that we are far from the top. Actually, this area here, this red line, this resistance line, these were the tops of these last distribution ranges. This was this buying climax, and this was the second buying climax here. We're heading down towards making a bottom again. You notice that the bottoms, that is when the price action touched the 400, this was this area here and this area here. This is the 400. This is the 400 range, and so here we are again gunning towards the 400. And if we, like we said, short to midterm, if we mark down beneath 200, if we're not able to get back up over the ice and we're rejected and we come back down to start filling out these liquidity voids, then we could see this coming down again to hit the support line here, the zero line in the cumulative days destroyed chart. So like, what does that mean? That would create another local bottom like it did here and here. This is what it looks like it's doing. So, but we don't know for sure, so we go over here to the micro and we look and see what's going on. We try to get a VSA, a volume spread analysis perspective on what's going on. We're seeing high demand coming in, but look at the diminishing demand here. See the step down? This is diminishing demand. Divergence with price action rising, which usually it's a point for the bears, especially when we're coming out of when we're in a downtrend like here and we encounter a symmetrical geometric structure, price structure like we see here. Now notice I have the three anchored VWAP lines. The one I anchored the highest to the ATH, to the 126. And this has been the ice line, and then we had the dump here, and then the first creek was the where it dumped to back on the 10th, and where the brakes came on. So this is, if we kind of look at this as like an ABC correction, if you would. So this would be the A point would be the first creek, and then we had another sell-off here, and so this area here, this selling climax would be creek number 2, and then from there now we're kind of consolidating. We got a series of lower highs and higher lows, in a way coming to like a sort of like an apex here with slowly diminishing demand volume. Price is staying within the micro support and resistance lines within the structure here, and we haven't come back up over the ice. Now these two are creeks. Now these anchored VWAPs have been flipped to creek. So this, because we came up through the creek here first of all, after we had this bounce, the second bounce, this major bounce off the micro trend support line, and so that rendered this anchored VWAP a creek, and then we've now rose up through. Remember yesterday we were here beneath this second VWAP line. This was the ice back then, so it's flipped it now, and it's become the creek. So creek 1, it's come up above creek 1, and we bounced off creek 1. So now we're kind of trending. We're kind of like meandering between this first creek and the micro trend resistance line, well underneath the ice from the all-time high. And so we're just kind of looking and seeing what's going on here. So so far demand hasn't been that impressive. I mean, like I said, we've had diminishing demand volume in the vertical bar. You can see this clear line here, and even here as we bounced off the second VWAP, it was on descending or diminishing demand volume here. So again, that usually denotes weakness. It usually bullish weakness. And so and then to top things off, we have the micro trend resistance line here. So this little pocket here. If we're not able to come up in this area, maybe we can make another stab at the ice here, kind of like we did here. This was a clear liquidity sweep. We could have another liquidity sweep attempt to mitigate this order block up here. But if things don't pick up, I know that the fear index is way up right now. So we could see like another wick up here, and then come back down into the symmetrical triangle again. We could bounce off this second ice line, or we may go through it completely this time. It just depends, and then start heading back down towards perhaps like a mitigation of the selling climax here, creating in effect kind of like a double bottom. This certainly would not be something that would be out of the ordinary. And then from here we could see a blast off. So what could be happening is just that they could be, we talked about the whales accumulating. And so everyone's thinking pump. Well, the pumps usually don't come right away. The pumps come after a shakeout, after a deep bleed out. They don't want everyone riding up there with them. The whales don't want to make you rich or me rich, so they don't want us riding on their coattails, so to speak. So what usually happens first is a shakeout. So expect some kind of catalyst to come in to bring the price back down, is what I'm thinking. If we can't break above this area here, the ice right now is at 112.7. If we can't put a daily close atop of 112.7, let's just make it 113 here and mitigate this first order block, then we're going to be going probably the opposite way. The bears are going to prevail here and bring it back down, and then we could look for like a lower mitigation. But I don't know yet. I'm watching it just like you. I don't have a crystal ball, but I'll try to keep you informed as I see things. If you get anything out of these technical analysis videos, like, subscribe. I appreciate that. I see that the subscribership is starting to build back up again, and that encourages me to make more videos. I'm going to be making videos on Solana and another Zcash. We'll probably do XLM, XRP, and maybe a few others. If you could leave a comment, just let me know what you're interested in. I plan on looking at Ethereum as well. But right now, Bitcoin, I mean, it's always Bitcoin. Bitcoin takes the precedence. Bitcoin is, Bitcoin is the king. So wherever dominance of, when I say Bitcoin, I mean the dominance, really more so than price action, Bitcoin dominance. And I'll do another video where we'll analyze and we'll do like an autopsy, if you would, on Bitcoin's dominance and the altcoin dominance. Remember that we have a CME gap that's still left unmitigated down here beneath the selling climax. So that's another strong magnet that could be pulling price action back down if we fail to break the ice at 113 Gs and set up a flip it with a daily candle close atop it. So continue to keep an eye on that, and that'll keep you safe. And then look at the volume, look at the vertical bar volume and how it reacts to the price. Learn about price action, learn about the synergy between volume and price action. That's what VSA is all about. VSA is basically a Wyckoff. It's a Wyckoff system simplified and distilled and streamlined to just pure price action and volume and the relationship thereof. And with that, guys, I'm going to let you go. Thanks again for watching. None of what I said is financial advice, but you already knew that. May God richly bless you, and stay safe, and I'll see you again soon, Lord willing. Love you guys. Adios. Bye-bye.